My name is Ronald Mahla. I only go by Ron. On the Brookline Boulevard is where I was born. I was on the boulevard every day of my life because I had going to school, going to Resurrection School. It was down a couple blocks from there, up on a hill. Well, it wasn't very good because I couldn't stand up in front of a class and say anything. I didn't know any words, and I couldn't understand the words that they tried to teach me. And I tried to quit in 6th grade, and they wouldn't let me. And I had to hang out there for 2 more years until I finished 8th grade. And then I was through with school for life. How lucky could I be? I couldn't learn from a piano teacher. I tried, but I couldn't do it. Born to be a musician, but I wasn't. I didn't have the ability. My mother could play as fast as you could hum a tune, she could play it. She don't look at the keys at all. She just, I don't know. The keys must be in her fingers because she could play them, and she could play all kind of songs. She played St. Louis blues. I hate to see that evening sun go down. Oh, I couldn't name all the songs. She just keeps on playing and playing. And my dad was the same way on a violin. He sees where you start, and he plays up a tone and a half on a violin. My oldest son and I, he's quite a musician on piano. Oof. He outdoes me, makes me look sick. Of course, how lucky can I be, huh? It's my son that outdoes me. My parents built a house on Nelson Avenue in Brookline in 1928. We had houses on both sides of the street, and in one of those houses was a young girl that I ended up marrying. And she was only 2 years old when I met her, and I was 3. And I had trouble getting away from her. And our mothers were buddies. And her mother was a singer. She should have been on TV. Holy God, could she sing. And my mom could play, and she would sing, and oh my, it was wonderful. I wanted to marry when I was 14. And she wouldn't do it. She was smarter than me. I'd have really caused trouble. Would have had about 20 kids instead of 7. And I wouldn't be sitting here, I'd be in the morgue somewhere. We were married for 51 years. Would have been married longer, but she had an unruly thing that happened to her and took her life. I still can't believe it today. Wasn't long enough. To lose someone like that. My brother-in-law was quite a husky guy and smarter than smart. He had a heart attack when he was 40 years old and died. I never get over that to this day. I'll never get over it. He could swim the Dormont swimming pool underwater. The length of that, if you know what the Dormont pool looks like, that is something rare. I knew one other guy that could do it, and he was mentally disturbed, but he could swim like a fish, and my brother-in-law could do it too. He was a real muscular guy. Made me look like a kid. Of course, to shoot pool, I didn't have to have all them muscles, you know. I went to play pool in Dormont on Potomac Avenue, where the 5 and 10 used to be. And then I went downtown in 2 or 3 places. They all took your money, you know. You couldn't play for nothing. I always had money in my pocket. I was able to beat most people that I played against. I was shooting a guy downtown for $100 for a game. I had to be insane, except that I beat him. I started when I was 13, and I had to quit because I went and got married and went in the service. They didn't have pool tables on Okinawa, you know. I didn't get drafted. I made a mistake and joined the Navy in 1944. And the next thing I know, I was on a train going to, we didn't know where we were going. We were going to California, San Francisco. I caught a guy coming down the street. I got him to buy us a bottle of whiskey. I had the money for it. And I never drank whiskey, but we drank that whole bottle of whiskey, and I got them all tattooed, including me. And then when I come back home, my mother saw the tattoo on my arm. She wanted to take my arm off. She couldn't go for anything like that. And boy, was she stubborn. I never had a shirt that didn't cover my arm down to my elbow. It said, Mother. She was a tough Irishman. Uneducated, like me. My dad never said a word. We didn't know where we were going. I just didn't figure I'd ever come back. Okinawa was not that big. Well, it was just land that no one ever did anything with. And we built some tents, not many. We were the only tent, the 4 or 5 of us that lived in that tent. That was the only tent that stayed. And the rest of them, they had to rebuild them again when that wind left us. Yeah, it was 130 miles an hour. We could have been killed. Could have blown something over on you and killed you. Let alone the Japanese. How our tent ever stood up. I helped build this tent, and that's the reason it stayed up. Because I knew how to build it. I was worried about ever leaving there, because they were only a stone's throw up the road, and they could have blown us up like nothing. Well, what else can I say? I mean, you know, I didn't want to be there. I joined the Navy, and what did they do? They sent me to Japan. Holy hell. It scared the pants off me. And then one day, Harry Truman bombed Japan, and I smiled. It's a good thing there wasn't any tattoo artists there. I'd have got some more. I got home in the middle of the night. And my dad saw me. I had a mustache, real black. I had black, jet black hair like him. My dad had jet black. And when he first looked at me, he didn't know what to think. He's looking out the window in the door. He's wondering, who in the hell is this? Here's this sonny boy that came from another world. Started the office furniture company with nothing at all. Used furniture, and that's all I could do. My dad gave me a little place, not this wide. I could only put a desk, a 48-inch desk, from there to here. And I had chairs and a couple files, and that's how I started. I bought it from individual companies that were buying new furniture and getting rid of the old stuff. And people that went out of business, I bought up furniture out of them, and I cleaned them all up, took them back down and put them in the showroom, and I could sold them for 3 times what I paid for them. I didn't sell garbage. I got into top grade wood furniture. The Lord was good to me. I thanked him many times. I thought, I don't know why you were so good to me. I'm kind of an oddball, you know. Most people that started a business are educated and know what's going on, and I didn't know nothing. And there it is. It turned out pretty good.